Hello, everybody. It is another week, and that means another XGR. And it's our weekly gaming podcast. And so, usually, as we do, we will go to start with the news, then we go to catch up, where we talk about the games we played, and then the topic. And this month's topic is having basically like a crossover game, but it's you basically make a game with another game's engine. So that should be fairly fun. And joining me, as usual, is Chriz, aka the Mole,
It's a me, Molio.
and Anastasia Lazerbeam,
Hey!
and I am the stay-at-home dad gamer. So we will get right into it. Who wants to run through their news or the small news first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm putting this as small news. Dragon Age Inquisition has announced 4-player multiplayer. Apparently, they've said the multiplayer is going to be not tied to the main game. They said the story mode is still 200 commitment. They said they've learned from Mass Effect and it's not going to be like galactic rating. But so they said they want to do the multiplayer to work for like short 20 to 30 minute bursts if you want to. Each of the 3 multiplayer campaigns available at launch randomly generates a large level, a comprised timer. You may see the same stage in a new spot or an alternate or an entirely different collection of areas entirely, all with different enemy encounters, ideally making multiplayer missions replayable indefinitely. BioWare's Scala Coaster told IGN that he hopes fans commit to a multiplayer service that means a lot of DLC, lots of heroes and levels. And they said this article says service. Fortunately, BioWare isn't planning any sort of subscription or premium plan for additional multiplayer content, Costa said. It's all free DLC for everyone. Missions have a loose connection to the campaign, but the signature BioWare storytelling is reserved for a single player, and it goes on with that. And they've mentioned in the trailer and when they show you the stuff, the way I assume you guys have seen how the multiplayer works probably, but they've mentioned it's sort of like Diablo, Rick, but from behind. From behind. Yeah, it may have come up in one of these, but yeah. But it's like Diablo, but from a behind scene. But unlike Diablo, while they have different classes, each class has a different character. Like, let's say you pick the archer. There's different archers. Each one, when you play as that, you get to level it up with its skill tree. Each skill tree has different skills and abilities. And they have certain stuff, like they have treasure rooms, which are only accessible through certain abilities. Like, let's say I think it's the warrior they used. I think it's a warrior. But if you're the warrior and he's essentially got the big strength going for him, there's some walls where you can go to and press the strength button. He goes, ugh, and kicks the wall down. And then in there's a big treasure room where you can get some loot. Which that's kind of neat. Which means which means it's random, and if you've got the right people in your party, you'll be like, yes. So it encourages each person to play as a different class.
To get a different, so you get the spread. That's cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that. And they've mentioned there's loads of loot, loads of customization of said loot and stuff like that. If it's not tied to the single player, I will be honest, that multiplayer looks fucking awesome. And they have a trailer up for it right now, so go over to YouTube or IGN or anywhere and just type in Dragon Age Inquisition multiplayer trailer, and it was posted about 3 or 4 hours ago. The trailer was, so check it out. It's pretty cool.
Ooh.
All right. So I will, I guess, run through my small news next. But they recently announced, I think this was, today, that Mega Man X4 and Mega Man X5 are coming to the PSN for PlayStation 3 and Vita in the first half of September. Which is cool because I think 4 is my favorite of all of them, because it's the first one where you could properly play as Zero, and Zero is awesome.
How connected are they?
Not really. I mean, there's like some plot, like just that they know each other, but most of the Mega Man games are self-contained. They just it's kind of like Mario, where they all kind of follow the same basic plot.
Fair enough. I wasn't sure because I saw like the ones where, like I mentioned, I think it was last week, where they're in different timelines and continuities and stuff. So I thought, that they might be like really story contained. And I was like, okay, well, if it's 4 and 5 or whatever, whichever ones you said, would I need to play 1, 2, 3 in order to pick those up? Because I might pick those up.
No, not at all. No, you don't have to play
Cool.
1 to 3 at all. Just because I think anything important is covered. And usually the intro has a couple sentences explaining what's going on, but it's basically that you play as Mega Man and he hunts bad robots and Zero helps you. And there was a bad guy named Sigma who's probably back in that one. He's like the Dr. Wily of the X series, so he comes back in pretty much all of them.
Can I just say, in my opinion as well, this is proof that more people should start to vote with their money. Mm-hmm. The reason I say that is, look at what's happened with Capcom. Resident Evil was action, and it was shit with 5 and 6. But 6 was a little better than 5, but it was still not good enough. And people spoke with their money. The series just didn't make that much money. Capcom was starting to go bankrupt. Boom! Coming soon, Resident Evil, the first game in HD to see if fans will respond to it. Mega Man, they did fuck all with it. Now that they need money, boom! Mega Man's going everywhere. It's like because you voted with your money, Capcom are going to have no choice but to listen to fans. Yeah. That's awesome. More people should do it because people are like, one person doesn't make a difference. No, one person doesn't. But if every person thinks one person doesn't make a difference, no one makes a difference. So this actually, in my opinion, is proof that you can vote with your money, which I completely agree with.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it.
People always understand the almighty dollar, even if they can't understand words.
True.
What's this dollar of what you speak of? Oh, right, the thing worth less than one of my pounds. Okay.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, I went there, America.
The almighty yen.
Oh my god, that's like shit, isn't it? Don't you need like a fucking 1,000 yen to equal like $1 or something?
And since you're a Legend of Zelda fan, Geeky Girl, shouldn't have been the almighty rupee.
That is a totally legitimate money source in Monopoly.
So is paper money that was did you print it yourself?
Oh, I guess that's also true, but it won't look nearly as nice.
In Monopoly, a hat can buy a house.
A sentient hat.
And a shoe can go to jail.
Yeah. Where they'd have to dissect him because you're not allowed laces in case you hang yourself. So he's had a bad mental image.
That's like shaving him.
It is. It's like whipping out his arm. Very future girl hand him. No.
So, Stacy, what is your small news?
My small news, even though it's not exactly small, is the DLC for Mario Kart. Basically, yeah, Mario Kart 8, not like Mario Kart 3, DLC for
I thought it was the Super Nintendo one.
No. So, basically, you get the Tanuki suit, and the cat suit, and all those little adorable costumes, for Mario and Peach. And you also get their own levels. It's 3 characters: Tanuki, Mario, Cat, Peach, and Link. 4 vehicles, 8 courses. Second DLC: 3 characters: Villager, Isabelle, which is from the new Animal Crossing. She's your secretary. You can be pretty much, bitch, I don't feel like doing everything, do it. She's pretty much runs everything. You're the laziest fucking mayor in the entire town. You also get Dry Bowser, which I think Mo wanted.
I wanted Dry Bowser. Yeah. Because I was like, why have Dry Bowser if you have and why not have Dry Bowser if you've got Golden Peach or whatever the fuck it was?
Oh, Pink Gold or whatever. Gold Pink.
Yeah, Pink Gold Peach or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, and you get 4 new vehicles and 8 courses. Whoa, that's like a fuck ton. It kind of doesn't really do DLC, and it's not the Mercedes bullshit cart advertising thing.
Well, the Mercedes one is free, right?
Yeah,
the Mercedes is free, and I like the look of that.
I'm just saying that it's not the only DLC they're doing.
Yeah. Although I would say, I know after speaking to Marcus, I know he kind of agrees with me and sort of disagrees. He's of the strong opinion. It's stupid, but I don't like it.
Like what?
It's Mario Kart. They shouldn't be Link and Animal Crossing and stuff, because in my opinion that hurts the specialness, if you will, of Smash Brothers.
Well, didn't they say they weren't going to do that because of that very reason?
That's what they said. That's what they said.
Yeah.
That's what they said on the Wii. They said,
Yeah, I remember them saying that a while ago, and then they do this, and I'm
Link.
like, oh, I guess
'Cause I
they
could jump across.
they want money more than they
Hey,
care
John.
about. Well, I was just joking with my wife that they do that, so they're actually releasing Zelda content and like crossover content, because Koei is making Hyrule Warriors, so Nintendo's not making a Zelda game this year, and Bamco is making Smash Brothers, so Nintendo doesn't even have a crossover. They're like, let's throw it in there. There, we've done Zelda content this year, and then they smile and walk away.
Yep. And there was also Zelda content in Sonic.
True.
I just have to get my Sonic mention, but no, it's a case of.
I had forgotten about that.
I will never forget. No,
It looked cool.
it was, but no, yeah. I said, in my opinion, it does hurt the specialty, and like they said that with Wii. I'll admit, though, I'm not overly upset about it because I know there was enough fans that wanted this.
Mm-hmm.
That means maybe I was in the minority or whatever, and fair enough, Smash Brothers is still going to feel special. This just turns it more from Mario Kart into Mario and Nintendo Kart.
Yeah.
But
Mario Party Kart.
I
yeah,
think like Kirby would have been like at least more realistic or Toon Link, you know?
although
Could
yeah,
do with more.
that's why I said to you when I saw Link, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, why isn't it Toon Link? He's the one that would match Mario perfectly.
Yeah.
And you could see him on a cart, like, because I'm thinking
bike.
Link goes on this cart, and he's like, what the fuck is a cart, man? Fucking screw Epona, man. This shit is awesome. Look at there's electricity. Holy shit, you know?
Yeah, and if you apparently,
What
if
was
you
in that potion? The road is a rainbow.
Apparently,
Exactly.
actually, if you complete the game as him, you unlock the Master Card
The
and the Master Shell to throw at people.
Master Shell.
I'm hoping if you play
The
as
shell
Link,
of power.
yeah, I'm hoping if you play as Link, he has that big shield he has. I'm hoping he has that big all-powerful shield, so if someone goes to blue shell, automatically he just goes, knocks it the fuck out the way, like, bitch, please, and just keeps going.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, I hope they add a power-up of Navi, so whenever you use it, she flies to the nearest cart and just gets up on the screen and just goes, hey, listen, hey, listen, hey, listen. So as a player, you're like, get the hell off my screen. And like in an 80s movie, then that causes you to like drive into walls because you can't see part of it. And you're like, no! So you start swerving wildly. That would be great.
That would be like the ink thing.
Yes. Only more annoying.
Yeah, they need some missions. They need some stuff like power-ups and stuff to do with that. Like, for example, because they got the villager from Animal Crossing, you can throw Tom Nook at someone, and since they have to collect coins in there, he takes them for his debt.
Takes their money. Yes. Actually, instead of the villager, it should have been Tom Nook in like a 1950s mob car. That would have been awesome.
Tom Nook, and he comes with a Mercedes just to show what your money's gone to.
Yes.
There you go.
But yeah, that news it's pretty cool. It's weird, but it's cool in some regards. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So, are we over to the
On
big
to
news?
Yes, on to the big news.
Okay. My big news, which you'll see why I took this as big news as opposed to the other one, it's more news we're less interested in and news we're interested in actual big and small nowadays because there's too many games conferences on one after the other. We don't have enough time, people. But
yeah, pretty much.
remember that shocking Pokemon announcement that was teased a while back? It's just been revealed on Nico Nico that the game in question is Pokken Tournament, a fighting title co-developed by Bandai Namco, which apparently uses the Tekken game engine, which, hey, that's another one that uses the game engine, similar to what our topic is. Tekken producer,
Whatever.
Tekken producer and Soul Calibur producer, someone else, also heavily involved. Pokken Fighter was rumoured back in 2013, and the trademarks for the name emerged earlier this year. Many expected to see it at E3, but it was a no-show until now. personally, I didn't expect to see it. The second they announced it, I was like, whoa. And it's just for the arcades with a 215 launch. However, they have said that there is a chance they could bring it to Wii U later. I really fucking hope they do. I want that game. I love Tekken. I like G1 Pokemon. But shut up and take my money.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm hoping that they put Mr. Mime in there because he's good at juggling, so he'd be like the boss of Tekken.
Nice. I'm also hoping for what's he called? Magichamp or whatever he was called. Because with the big belt around him and the muscles, he looks like a fight. He has to be he has to be awesome in this.
Well, yeah, they have the four-armed one, the Machamp.
Yeah, that needs to be in. He needs to just dominate in this.
Yeah. Yeah, and hopefully they have the boxing one, Hitmonchan, and the kicking one, Hitmonlee. There's a lot that they should put in. Hopefully they also put in the Kung Fu Panda just for Marcus Shadow.
They also need to put in Magikarp. And when you attack him, he just grins like Jin and turns into the dragon, like Devil Jin.
Or like a bonus stage where there's just Magikarp everywhere and you just have to kick him into the waterfalls.
Yeah. Based on the fact it's a fighting game, because it's like Tekken, and based on what Ditto's been used to, we need Ditto in a bikini.
There we go.
Ditto in I also want, like they did with Tekken Tag Tournament on Wii U, where they gave them Nintendo costumes. I'm hoping Pokemon get Tekken costumes. Like, how awesome would not the four-armed one, the two-armed version of him? How awesome would he be? Yeah, Machoke, that's the one. How awesome would Machoke look dressed as Hiachi?
I would think maybe King, just because I imagine he's a grappler because he's got that wrestling belt.
Yeah.
He has a jaguar head on top of his other head. Although, with what you said earlier, now I think I figured out who the final boss is. It's Ditto, and he just has everyone's moves.
Yes.
Ever.
God mod Ditto.
Yes.
Or he's like, or they should have him in, like, did anyone here play Soul Calibur 2 with Charade, where it kind of looked like the Soul Edge, but every round it would be a different person's weapon?
Yeah.
I could see them doing that for Ditto, where like every round it's a different character, and I'm like, that would actually be cool. And they bother to give it those little stupid Ditto eyes.
Yeah, so basically Ditto...
That's from the show. The game didn't even do that.
Yeah. So basically Ditto turned into Shao Tsung from Mortal Kombat, where at the end he just turned into someone random. Like, no, you can't do that.
Well, according to the show, that was only the one retarded Ditto. You can't catch all the retarded, because that one didn't like to do the faces.
Oh.
Because it got scared or whatever. It was just funny. Like, she collected like Pokemon that didn't do their moves right.
Mm.
And she got another Ditto that only made the small versions of Pokemon instead of like the she just gets the fucking retarded handicap ones.
Yeah.
That one's really strong, but it's normal. Irradiate its brain. She just makes it watch Jersey Shore and then she captures it.
Yeah, like honestly, who here wouldn't mark out and maybe a little bit get turned on by seeing Pikachu dressed as Nina?
That'd be weird. Actually, I want Pikachu I want like 3 Pokemon that are like smaller, kind of like Pikachu, because Pikachu doesn't really have limbs. I want 3 of them to like stack up like a totem pole and make like a joke character that's just 3 Pokemon together.
Yeah.
Trenchcoat optional to make them look like,
I also
like 2 kids standing on each other's shoulders.
I also want an announcer. And I want the announcer to make some sort of joke. You know when you got the actual big panda with the fucking grass in his mouth?
Yeah.
I want him to get the name mixed up with the panda from Tekken. And then be like, oh, sorry, that's the other game.
I want Meowth to be the announcer. Like Meowth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meowth should be the announcer. The one Pokemon who can actually talk, and it'd be awesome.
There you go. That would be awesome. So is that all for your big news?
That was my big news, Pokemon.
Okay. So for mine, I'll go next. They announced the PlayStation Plus offerings for next month. I only know the US ones. Mole, do you know the Euro ones, or are they the same, like across the board?
I don't know. They may be the same.
Okay, because this month it is Velocity 2X and Sports Friends, which I believe are both PS4 games. And
That's what
Velocity
we're getting.
2X, that's on release, which is kind of cool. So
Yeah, that's
um,
what we're getting to, and I will say that Velocity 2 looks awesome. At least to me, it looks sort of like a Metroid game.
it did
At
look
least
pretty cool from the trailer.
Yeah, at least from the trailer, yeah.
And then there's also TXK and Joe Danger. I believe both of those are for Vita. Oh. And also, then there's Horde and PlayStation All Stars Battle Network Royale EX plus Alpha, which is that one's cross-buy. I believe Velocity 2X is also cross-buy, so you get the Vita version and the PS3 version of
And
PlayStation All
Sports Friends.
Stars. And oh, Sports Friends is cross-buy. I thought it was only PS4.
It's PS4 and PS3.
Oh, okay. I did not know this PS3 version. Cool. So definitely even though it's the same amount, because 3 of them are cross-buy, it feels like more games, but it's looks like a decent month.
Yeah, it is a pretty good month. I will admit, yeah, I was a little like, come on, because I have all the games I'd be interested in there. But at the same time, I'm also, like I mentioned to you, I'm of the opinion
Yeah.
of, oh well, there'll be some in the future I'm interested in.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird though that PlayStation All Stars is I think the only disc-based one. So I know some people were a little annoyed about that, but I think it's cool that we get Velocity 2X at release. Like, I like it when they do that, because then it's like, well, no one can be disappointed because you haven't played that yet. Just.
Sorry, I was saying because there's something in the background. As we were speaking, because I already owned it and I know other people were getting it, I was totally re-downloading and installing my PlayStation. I saw the network pass, I went to click in, it said, sorry, you don't have a Vita. I'm like, oh, stop doing that, stop downloading the Vita stuff at the same time. Assuming we have both, stop that.
Yeah, I hate that when I'm trying to buy something from the actual PlayStation store and it's like a cross-buy, so it like downloads the Vita one. I'm like, no, I don't want to transfer it. I'll download it directly on the Vita. That's why I use the web store, because then it doesn't start downloading anything. But so Stacy, what is your big news?
Big Mac Data news. My big news is Amazon buys Twitch. Holy shit, someone bought it, yay!
I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, nice.
So, this is from Rico.net, and just so you know, it says that Amazon bought Twitch for $1 billion, including $970 million in cash.
Please tell me when she said $1 billion you did the finger.
$1 billion.
I can't see that number without doing that.
The internet now is pretty much like fucking Google and Amazon. Like, you can get music from Amazon, like, now, like, streaming music. Like, everybody has, like, all this Amazon shit. Like, my coworkers do nothing but go on Amazon all day on their breaks. Like, that's it.
I will say I'm surprised by that. Only because, don't get me wrong, Amazon does do music, which is cool. And they do games, which is cool. And they also do movies and stuff, which, yeah, I've bought some of the movies through their Prime search, like, streaming service type thing. And I've actually bought a couple through that, and I bought through Veronica Mars and stuff. But when it comes to the music, it's like, come on, when it comes to the music, it's iTunes. When it comes to games, it's Steam. Amazon doesn't own the monopolies there. But they do with the books because of Kindle.
Yeah.
I don't really listen to music because it's Broadway musicals, and I just buy the CD, so.
No.
You sicken me. Rick says you sicken him too.
Okay.
Rick says you're the reason he doesn't let his kids watch this podcast because he doesn't want to expose to stupidity.
What? Explode? He doesn't want his kids to
Exposed, I said exposed to stupidity.
Is that like you said exploded?
Explode with stupidity.
I'm sure he doesn't want his kids to explode. That's probably a pretty good thing.
I'm sure there's times where he's like, I wish you'd explode.
Yeah. There's times when it's like, if I could just put you in a hole in the ground, encase you in carbonite, and hang you on the fucking wall.
Yeah. Poor kids.
So they also said that there's very little going to impact the actual Twitch viewing experience. So that'll be cool if it doesn't change too much, because it's already working pretty well.
It is, and I also like the fact that Twitch also said Amazon had nothing to do with their music thing they did where they banned copyrighted music. They made a point of saying that, which is cool.
Yeah. Where it would block out a 30-minute segment of audio if there was like any kind of music.
Yeah. And it's like yeah,
that's a good solution. That's like burning a house down because you find a roach.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably people out there who burn a house down with a roach.
That's true.
Bum.
It's past 4:20 though.
Yeah. You know where your children are?
All right, so on to the catch-up section. So who wants to run through first with two of the games that they played the previous week?
I'll go first because mine are really small. I played a bit of Outlast, which is fun. I like that game where you basically it's a proper survival horror game where you can't even use weapons, and if you have to hide under the bed and hide in like the fucking what do you call it, lockers and stuff. It's good, and the graphics and vibe and the music, everything on that game just hits the perfect note in survival horror. If that makes sense.
Scared the shit out of me.
It's pretty cool. I played it. It's on my channel right now with the first 30 minutes because, hey, why in the hell not? And I also played Surgeon Simulator.
That was fun.
I've done all of the first wave, if that makes sense, of where you're operating.
Right.
It fucked me over when I went to the second one.
Oh.
I went to the second one of what's the name now of the waves. Like the first one, you're in a surgery room. The second one, you're in a corridor and it starts to move and bang into the doors and make you jerk, and like so the trolleys where you can grab the items just go driving by the sides. Yeah, I failed horribly on that because I dropped both hearts to the floor during a heart transplant. So yeah, I couldn't pick them up, and as a result, yeah, I'm pretty sure he died.
Pretty sure, not like 100% sure.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah, that game's fun to watch, but man, I can just imagine how playing that would be.
Yeah, playing it, it's one of those games. Some people I know who have played it don't like it because of the controls. I love it because of the controls. Because, I'm sorry, the fact you can't pick up the thing and just do it perfectly.
Yeah. Like
Trauma Center or something on Wii. It's a case of the fact when you go to pick them up, it's all really over the toply stupid. Like, okay, let's make a simulator game. Let's make it the best ever, because now you have to control each little limb and stuff. And the end result is that by trying to make it so good, they've made it so bad. It's like someone else said. I can't remember who said it, but it was somebody else who was on one of the reviews for it before I bought it because I wanted to see what it was like, and I looked at the reviews. One of them said it's not a good game. However, it's a fucking awesome joke disguised as a game.
That would be accurate.
And I love it.
It's really fun.
Like, one of the operations, I had to do eye exam. I just had to stick a scalpel in his eye, yank his eye out so it pops, and then when both of them popped, shake his head till they drop out and cut the eyes off and pick up new ones and just shove them in. I also like the fact when you've done like the heart transplant, you just get the heart and just drop it in the fucking stomach, like, done.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you've done. I was like, yeah. Seems, as Richter would say, seems legit.
Yeah. Isn't that how that normally works?
Yeah. You just drop a heart and they're like, they're cool.
If me watching ER has taught me anything, it's that they spike it in there and then high five each other.
High five each other.
If me watching ER has taught me anything, it means as a doctor, in a few years' time, I'm going to destroy the Batman franchise.
If me watching Mole play, or hearing Mole play anyway, so you have to break all the teeth before you can get the good ones in.
Yeah. The teeth, when you had to do the teeth exam, that was weird. I had to break his bad teeth and you had to be accurate and place the new ones there too.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't hit one of the teeth, so I just went, fine, fuck it, and got the hammer, just smashed open his entire jaw and face. And I was like, yeah, okay, fine, and placed the tooth, and it had done.
I saw one part where I think you were trying to remove his stomach or his kidney or something, and you just had a hammer in there. You're like dragging it around like, this will get it out.
Oh, you know about when I was playing, I was doing that to break the bone.
Yeah, but I think at one part you're just like, oh, I think I'm supposed to get the stomach out, and you still had the hammer there, and you were like dragging it across.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, yeah, that's how you do. You just kind of pry. You get the little prongs on the back of the hammer. You just pry that stomach out.
Yeah.
But also, I love that's how you break the bones. You just take a hammer and you just smash them out of the way.
Now, there is bone saws and stuff there, but yeah.
They
It's
make
like,
way too
I
much.
also got a trophy, which was fucking hilarious.
Uh-huh.
The name of it, because I didn't realise what I was supposed to do, and apparently I did it the wrong way. For the eye exam, you have to take off his goggles first. You're supposed to get the scissors and go snip, snip, either side of his head, and they fall off.
Right.
I didn't know that. I picked up the hammer and I smashed the shit out the goggles so they all broke. And then it came up in the corner, ding! The goggles, they do nothing!
Nice.
That's what trophies are for, puns. Puns and, like, references.
I do like those ones.
Those are the only good ones, in my opinion.
Yeah. Personally, I don't, like I said, I don't like trophies, but when something like that comes to element, even though I don't like it, I do go, that's funny. And I will say, Rick, you actually kind of semi-featured in my review, well, not my review, my Let's Play of, what's the name? Of Outlast.
Oh?
Because when I was playing it, it came up on my screen. Boom, with your PS3 name has sent you a message when you responded about the topic for today.
Nice.
And because I have my friends list blocked, so I don't give out people's PSN names unless they want me to, I don't know if it actually showed you or if it just showed a black bar. But when it pops up, I'm like, cool, just got a message from Rick. You may know him as our co-XGR host.
Nice.
So Rick, you featured.
We all featured in it, technically.
Yeah. Every game needs Richter popping up in the corner and going, Toasty!
I support that. That would be amazing.
His sad gamer logo from this video. Toasty! I will also say, though, as I was downloading this, like we kind of touched upon before we actually started recording, I meant to bring that up. I find it a little weird and a little not distasteful, what do you call it? A little slightly unethical for PlayStation to give away the PlayStation version of Smash Brothers right before Smash Brothers comes out to try and hurt the sales of the other game company's game when they don't have a competitor in that game this year. So why bother? Just let them have their shit. At the end of the day, you've still got like your Destiny coming on the console. I know it's on multiple, but you got that. You've got fucking so many big games coming out. Why try and hurt like the one or two big games Nintendo has? It's like let them be their own thing. They're not doing that to you.
At least they're not giving away like Dynasty Warriors 8 or something.
They are doing the 7th one for $10.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, on the flash sale, the 7th one Empires is on there for really dirt cheap. It's like, oh god, stop that.
But that one is only over the weekend. Actually, that was Friday and Saturday, because Sunday they had all the problems with the hackers. Or, no, sorry, not the hackers, the script kiddies. And we didn't mention that for news.
Did they actually extend it?
Not that I saw. I went on Monday morning and I didn't see it up there. So I was like, oh, wow, they stuck to that. Okay. Not like I was going to get anything, but...
Oh, I hoped you were going to get Resident Evil to play with us.
I was tempted, but...
I
don't know. Well, and also... I wanted Lost Planet 3, but I'm like super cheap, and I'm like, I don't want to spend 10 for it.
Yeah. I honestly don't think... I don't mean any offense, but I don't think Lost Planet 3 would be worth 10. Only because it's been out for so long, and the main part is the online multiplayer. I'm not entirely sure how the servers are holding up right now, especially with Capcom going bump And I think Capcom was one of the publisher. I was expecting the servers to go off. If that makes sense, I'm not insulting the game.
Yeah.
It's like my Gran Turismo 5. Where I bought it, and none of the online works. But those were my games.
Okay.
Over to one of you two. Amuse.
Okay, I'll go next. Probably won't
Impress me
amuse
with.
you. No. It's not gonna. I don't think it will. I think you've heard of at least one of them. Well, I know you've heard one of these. But I played some more of Akiba's Trip, the one where you strip the vampires so the sunlight hits them and they explode.
I'm impressed. And good job, Rick. Right off the bat, he did it. Boom.
That game's pretty cool. It's definitely silly, just because you're tearing off their clothes, and you can actually fight normal people, and they just, if they're in their underwear, they just run off. And like sometimes you're like fighting a lot of guys, and sometimes people join in because they're like, oh man, this person's getting beat up by these other people, and they'll try to like frickin' White Knight or something. So sometimes they tear off their clothes, and then they're just like, they run away, and I'm like, oh, that was a normal person. Well, that guy just had a shitty day. Where like the vampire people just disintegrate, and you're like, well, fuck that guy. But and then also, if you like once you tear off a piece of clothes, it'll have like a button prompt. Sometimes, like if you've done enough damage to other parts, and you can like chain strip people, and if you do enough of that, oh no, it gets better. And if you do enough of those in a row, then you get a button at the end, and he'll like do this pose, and it like knocks off even their underwear, and then they have like this glowing white around their like junk, and then they just run off, and then you can get underwear to equip for if you do the super move. And I'm like, that's awesome. And
the only way that could be improved is if you do it to a female one, you get the button prompt, and you pull out the big dildo baseball bat from Saints Row, and go right into like their vagina, and that acts as a stake, and then they go and burst of flames.
Wow.
That would be
Did you
awesome.
say it needs more females?
Yeah, I started fighting girls. Like, just for some reason, that first fight is like dudes, and then after that, it's fairly mixed. But
Actually, I will say I'm an equal opportunist. If you're doing it to a guy, you can turn him over, throw through the anus, flames.
there you go. And randomly have him either really happy or really sad that's how he died.
Yeah.
But
He's really happy. Ding! You've unlocked a trophy, Simon.
Bisexual.
You've unlocked a trophy, Simon, and it's a silver trophy.
But I am so glad that I'm playing that on the Vita, because it would be fun on PS3, but good lord, that's one thing I don't need, is children walking in and just like laughing, that guy's in his underwear. Yes, I know that guy's in his underwear. Haha, that guy's in it. Yes, I know you just said that. Daddy, are you going to rip off more people's clothes? Okay, did anyone else hear that? Because I don't want to go to jail. Just go back to your room.
Based on what you said, I'm guessing that's exactly what the kid said when you were playing Skyrim.
No, they didn't. I don't remember if they saw me play Skyrim. But I did do that. I would always take their clothes. I would like take their clothes and then just put it back in their inventory. I just wanted to humiliate their dead corpse.
And you get like legendary, you know.
I did that before. Now I took it and then I dropped it next to him.
Yeah.
Just because I was thinking, okay, if this is a real world and stuff, I want to see what happens when the police officer shows up and sees them dead and naked, and then their clothes next to him in a pile. Like, what the hell happened?
Or their clothes are in their pockets that they don't, because it doesn't put the clothes back on them. It just puts them back in their inventory. The Skyrim guard comes and he's like, "She had her pants in her pocket. I don't even what?" And the guy's like, "I don't know. I just got here and dragon bones appeared in the air and fell on the ground, so I don't even know what's going on." But yeah, that game's pretty cool. Also, a small thing that made me smile was one of the characters when they're talking about like doing stuff, and he's like, "There ain't no getting off this train we on," and I was like, "Oh my god, did he just quote Final Fantasy VII?" Like that was pretty cool. The other game I played this week was Hyperdimension Neptunia Rebirth 1, which is the remake of the original Hyperdimension Neptunia game, but it's on Vita. The original was a PS3 game. And they basically took the battle system from the more recent games, because there were 3 on PS3, and the first one had the battle system that and the second two, or yeah, number 2, number 3 had a different one, so they just basically took that battle system and put it in the first one, and changed the plot and everything, and it's actually pretty cool. Definitely funny. If you don't know the plot of it, the characters are basically caricatures of the systems and game companies. So, excuse me, the titular character is Neptunia, who represents the Sega Saturn. And I know, it's like people are like, "What's the Saturn?" Long ago, Sega made consoles.
They did?
But, yeah.
I'm
But
kidding.
one thing I find funny is like I don't think this was in the original, but one of the running jokes they have is when the first extra land you go to is La Station, which has it's the Sony one, and you get the actual well, they're called the CPUs. They're like the patron goddess, but you get her in your party, but she doesn't want to reveal that she's one of the goddesses because you fight her before you get her. And so she's like, "Huh, people will recognize me." So she puts on these like thin framed glasses, and she's like, "There, perfect disguise. No one will know." And then when you go to Lean Box, but you can't guess which one that is, but the lady's like, "Oh," she's like, "I don't want people to recognize me," so she puts on like a different color thin frame glasses. and she has like a big chest, and the people are just like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "It's my disguise." And they're like, "I don't think your eyes are the first thing they're going to notice about you, but okay."
Nice. I need to get that.
When I went to Low E, then the Whiteheart, who's the Wii, she's like, "Why are you wearing glasses?" She's like, "It's my disguise." And she's like, "That's a great idea," and puts on little wireframe glasses. And they're like, "Perfect." And then they walk into like the place where she's supposed to be. And I was like, I love that that's the running joke of like, got my Clark Kent disguise on. and um and another thing, I don't know if this was in the original, but I thought it was kind of funny because basically they're trying to save the land, which is called Game Industry, but you can't figure out why. But the evil villain is called R4. If you have a DS, you probably understand that. And I don't remember if she did this in the original because I didn't get far enough, but I like that her power is she can copy their powers. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. The R4 can emulate other people. Nice. Like, I just thought that was clever that they built in the actual function of the R4 into the character to like give her an ability. I'm like, that's neat.
Maybe just be may not get it, but what's the R for?
It's the little cheat device that allows you to play DS games.
Oh, okay.
It's like the cartridge where you put in the micro SD card, and it's basically you can emulate DS games. It was like super popular for people to take games.
Fair enough.
Had that.
But like the actual one, it's literally just the letters R and then the number 4, but they actually spell it out. So it's like
Nice.
R4 or whatever. But yeah, it's just kind of neat that they parody that and that the villain is basically, someone that's copying video games for free.
Nice. Based on the fact I don't know what the game is properly,
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I kind of want that game based on what you said, which means one day I'm gonna have to get you to write that out so I can send it to you.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
You said
Yeah,
it's on
they're
PS3, so I'll have to get that.
Yeah, I wouldn't get the first one on PS3 just because it has, to me, a major flaw in that the healing is just god awful for an RPG. That's pretty bad. But 2 and 3 are better in that respect. But 2, some people got mad because it had a different main character because the second one deals with the handhelds.
Did they bring out the remake on PS3, or did they only bring out the remake on Vita?
It's a Vita only game as far as I know.
Fair
So
enough.
if you get the PlayStation TV, you can play it.
Yay! Oh, hang on, you said Vita.
Yeah, Jim's somewhere falling asleep.
Yeah.
I picture he's like, I don't know what he does at Sears. I don't know if he's still there, but I picture him like folding like clothes, and then he just falls over like a narcoleptic. If Vita is said, if we
That's
just say it,
actually
he somehow
what
knows.
he does. He just
Oh,
folds
really?
clothes all the time. That's what he does. He gets stuff from the back and folds clothes. That's it. And sometimes I imagine he'll hide in the back, like not do anything.
If he dies now because he was driving home and fell asleep at the wheel, are you gonna feel guilty?
No.
I'll just play Marcus.
Yeah, he's not here right now.
Yeah. Marcus would be like, that's not fair. I only kill celebrities.
Nice.
He'd be like, you're branching out. But yeah, that's what I played this week. So On to Stacy.
Fun fact:
Yes.
Marcus Shadow killed OJ's wife.
There you
And
go.
Phil Hartman. Oh, now I made myself sad.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned, where was Marcus on the night Tupac was shot?
I don't know. I bet he'd be like, I was playing Punch Out where I was winning the entire game, and we're like, I know there's part of that that's not real.
Oh, so what you were saying is during the Tupac fight, or during the Tupac being shot, you were at a Mike Tyson fight?
Alright, so I played a buttload of games this week, but I can only mention 2. So I'll start
We know
with...
the rules.
Yeah.
Every week we know the rules.
Yeah, but I just wanted to let them know that I played more than 2, but I'll tell you the 2. Anyway, so Kirby Triple Action, right? Deluxe, sorry, Triple Deluxe. Don't know why it's called that yet. Because I haven't encountered any things occurring in 3s or whatever. But
there's nothing 3 or deluxe about this game.
I don't know, but it's been pretty fun so far. I'm waiting for the thing that lets me change the color of my Kirby's, because that's been every game so far that I've played, so hopefully they didn't throw that out. They're just saving it for later. The keychains are okay, but I want to know what the fuck they do, other than stand there and be like, thing. And I think it's kind of funny though that they put amateur collection. It totally sucks. Use some play coins and make it great. I think that's kind of awesome.
Do they have that villain back yet from, I think it was Kirby 64, where they draw and it comes alive? And if so, if you absorb them as Kirby, do you become Jack Kirby?
No. That'd be amazing though.
I just wanted to make a Jack Kirby joke. I've never done one during the Xpound stuff. It needed to be done.
That would be really fucking cool, but no. But at least his cake didn't get stolen this time, because man, that's been the frickin' thing of 4 Kirby games or something. His cake gets stolen. At least it's not like that. And all the things that he can eat. Nope, my cake's stolen. Could you get another cake? I mean, you absorb the entire universe in a single swallow or whatever. You can't just fucking get another cake. Nope, gotta go on this giant quest. No, there's no cake this time. But they still have all the stuff. They're incorporating a lot of stuff from multiple Kirby games, like the Kirby Air Rider boxes, the treasure chest from Squeak Squad. They're incorporating a lot of stuff from a whole bunch of other Kirby games. That's really cool.
Maybe that's why it's called Triple Deluxe, because they've taken things from multiple Kirbys, huh?
Maybe. They also have the keychains are from a whole bunch of Kirby games too, so that's really cool. So I really like that.
Cool.
And the controls are really good. And nice to see the Kirby, he's done really nicely, which isn't really hard to do because he's very simple, pink, red shoes, eyes, there you go. But he looks really good, and the environment looks really good. And even though the 3D is gimmicky, I usually turn it off and stuff or whatever. There is even if you turn it off, it's fine. It doesn't affect anything. But they have a whole thing where you go in sometimes in the background and foreground, and they have kind of stuff like that. But it doesn't exactly feel gimmicky because it's more puzzle-ish. Because you got to figure out how exactly to get back there. Because sometimes you might have to uncover the star to get back there. So it's kind of puzzly rather than gimmicky, which I like. And there's this best item in there in the game, where you get this super mega fruit, which you can pretty much suck up buildings. That's fucking awesome. You just eat the fucking buildings, you eat giant trees, and you see this giant tree in his mouth that he just takes, and he's way bigger than it, and it's just oh my god.
The super mega fruit that enjoys sucking. Well, Simon's got a new nickname.
So that's Kirby. It's pretty awesome so far. Now another game that I'll mention mostly because Mo's here is Resident Evil. Revelation. Yeah, I keep
She just tried to Matrix it.
Yeah.
I was Revolution.
Resolution.
I was what is going on?
Resident Evil, 60 frames per second.
Resident Evil Resolution, and it's just Wesker saying, okay, this year I will not accidentally unleash an apocalypse. I will not accidentally unleash an apocalypse.
just want to see him writing a letter. Dear Chris!
So I have never played a Resident Evil game before. No, I have. I have the Raccoon City thing. I played that. So this is my second Resident Evil game. And
So you started at the bottom. That's a good place.
I guess so.
She started with 5?
Yes.
I don't know the numbers, and I've only seen the last 2 movies, so yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know if that makes anything. Anyway, so it's pretty fun. Man, the fucking monsters are really fucking disgusting. They're really scary. And especially the ones that look like freaking whale snail blobs. Oh my god, I do not want them touching my fictional character because I'm very in tune with him/her. And it's really nasty. I'm just saying I could play as Jill sometimes, and sometimes I play as that fat dude that looks like you.
You know about the one actually called Chris, the one that you play as?
No, not Chris, the other guy.
Oh, sorry, I was on about because in single player you alternate between Jill and Chris.
Oh, because the fat guy with the weird Russian accent or whatever, and...
Okay.
He's got a weird fucking accent. It's like Russian or something.
Is that Chris?
Is it?
No, that's not Chris.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the other ones, but I can't remember which one she's on about because
Parker, that's his name.
Fat guy. Yeah,
name is
he's like
Parker.
a fat guy and he's really muscular.
He's kind of fat. He looks like the side character. You have a main guy, and the main guy always has a chubby friend. He'd be the chubby friend. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm playing that, and the fucking, beach snail whales freaked me the hell out. I hate them. They're just, so natural. They're, and trying to come at me and stuff.
I'll say I do like that game, because, as I've mentioned before now, I like that game because it's found a balance not many have done, Rick, of... It's got the balance of single player. A lot of it is survival horror. But then if you go multiplayer, it's almost like a horde mode. But we're on the stage, which makes it more action. That's perfect. It balances both, so both Resident Evil fans could enjoy something from it.
Nice.
There was a large part of the game where I had to run around without a fucking weapon. I'm like, I didn't even know. It says, make sure to evade. By the way, you should find out what the button of evade is. We're not going to tell you.
And can I also say we found a feature which is hilarious, Rick? On multiplayer, there's a level with a yellow exclamation point, which means there's an enemy on that map that's named. We entered it. The name above its head was Crispy's PS3 name. Because it reads your friends lists and it puts their names as the person you kill.
That's cool.
It is.
We killed Crispy.
We tried to shoot him, it didn't work, but then I took a golf club and it was all over.
Yeah.
That would be funny. Oh my god.
Oh my god,
It's really fun.
oh my god, it's James. No, stop gymming, stop gymming. Quick, throw Vita and goes to sleep. Because now Vita not only is a word of power, if you place one next to him, it acts like kryptonite.
I know it can't do this, but I think it'd be hilarious if it could do stuff like that. So, the Marcus one, if ever you hit him, he just goes, fuck off! Fuck off!
Bullshit! You're cheating! You've got to be fucking cheating!
He, dodge his punch. Goddamn targeting!
You finally do the grapple to finish him. I was right there!
Oh, that would be too good. I would pay money for that.
Yeah, like I said, now I will say there is one problem with the multiplayer-ish, and I'm using air quotes for problem.
Okay.
I can't play through every stage with Stacy.
I gotta beat them in order in story mode first.
You have to beat them in story first, but that's because it's a survival horror. It doesn't want to give away what the enemies are or what the map looks like, so you're actually surprised as you go through it. Which I can understand, because the multiplayer raid mode, as it's called, is added as an extra, which is fair enough. However, it's still great, and I'd recommend that game to anyone to pick up. Anyone, Rick.
Anyone.
Rick.
I did do another level. I did the double mystery one. I did the double mystery one today, so we should be able to play as another level, because I did one today.
You may be able to find it cheaper than $10 if you look on Amazon.
Probably. It was I think it's been 10 at GameFly a couple times.
Nice. I don't know what that is, but nice.
Renting service. You rent the video games.
That's a point. Based on the games this week, Rick.
Uh-huh.
Is the red box offer no longer valid?
No, it was only that 1 week.
Ah, because you had them like 2 weeks on the run on XGR.
Well, because it was it started on
The Wednesday. I just
no,
know.
it started on like Sunday, but like I had played some and then we recorded and I had played more after that. So since we
Yeah.
recorded in the middle of that week, it was
Yeah, which makes sense. And I was like, I kind of hoped it was keep going because I enjoyed finding out Rick had played a completely new game
Yeah.
this week.
I wish it was still going. That was pretty cool.
It was, but shall we go to the main topic?
Yes, we shall.
Yay!
So as alluded to earlier, or flat out stated, whichever, the topic is where we have a property made with a different property's game engine. So I don't know who wants to go first, but and we have up
Did
to
you
5,
name
I believe. Huh?
Did you name yours?
I didn't actually give them names. But
Okay,
I
fair
should
enough.
have. Yeah.
No, I tried to name all mine. I'll go
I
with my first
will
one.
try to do that while other people are talking. That's a good idea.
Yeah. One of my names I'm disappointed at, but I'll go first. My fifth one I just called Stars. Resident Evil game made by the Splinter Cell people. It would play like the Splinter Cell, like Blacklist and stuff, and it would actually be a prequel to Resident Evil before all the zombies and stuff, with maybe some like little heads up with stuff that was going to lead to other stuff later. But it would just be stuff like Jill and Chris actually being cops. Actually being cops and arresting people and going after people. Stars, and I was like, that way the people that want a Resident Evil, it's an action game, would also have their own series. They'd have Stars, the series, and we'd have Resident Evil.
That would be cool.
I approve.
That was my number 5. Over to Pew.
Alright, my number 5 would be Mass Effect Moon. Pretty much kind of like Harvest Moon gameplay, and it was Mass Effect. Because after Mass Effect 3, everything changes, so you have to readapt to life. So I was thinking, if you try to like make all life again and try to make everything normal by playing like Harvest Moon, like you have to like figure out like, okay, how are we gonna do this? How do we rebuild all this shit? How do we like survive? Do we need to do this? Is all these our technology gone or whatever, depending on what you did? And like you could kind of rebuild and restart all this thing and kind of jumpstart your society again, your town or whatever, based on like whatever you chose. And I would imagine you chose either A, synthesis, or destroy them, whatever the fuck you chose. You're gonna have to rebuild something because fucking shit exploded. So. So start there, and I was like, that'd be cool because you could have all your relationships again and everything like that, and it'd be different, and you could like even like you could go through like crazy amount of generations of like freaking kid. Like there was this one Harvest Moon game that I shit you not was probably like fucking 400 hours or something, because you like literally go through like let's say a year by itself is like 30 hours. You have to go through like, I don't know, like fucking like 20 some years or some shit, like, or some ridiculous amount, and your character actually ages, and it's gonna feel like 70 years by the time you're fucking finished. So like there you go. I think that'd be cool.
All right. Okay. Okay, I named some of them. So first one I will throw out there. Yeah, let's do this one. Okay, G.I. Joe Battle Lines, and it's basically a G.I. Joe game, so it uses those properties, you know, those sides and characters and whatnot, but it uses the Battlefield engine, so you can like jump in the vehicles and there's like destructible terrain and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty freaking fun. Especially having like that like iconic, you know, like the jets and the hiss tanks and stuff. I think that could be kind of fun. And you could, you know, be Cobra or Joe for the multiplayer, or maybe even story mode. You'd swap between the two at various points.
Would it be based on the film or the cartoons?
Oh, probably cartoons,
Fair enough.
just so you get more characters.
I'd still buy it. I'll admit I'm not familiar with G.I. Joe because I never watched it growing up. I did
Right.
like the film. However, I'd buy that game. Just like I'm sure there's people out there that bought Transformer games and had no idea what Transformers was, and maybe only saw the film.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, it could use the film, but I think there's more so they probably I
is.
think they probably would use it, but I think there's more characters. So unless they wanted to remake,
So
well, it
it'd
would
be like
still
Hyrule, not a Hyrule. It'd be like Fall of Cybertron with like a mixture of cartoon and the
that
realistic.
could work. Yeah, that could work. Well, I'm thinking that they wouldn't be like it wouldn't be like cartoony graphics. It wouldn't be cell shaded or anything. It'd be more akin to like a normal looking one. So I could see them using the movie ones, or just like more realistic interpretations of the characters if they weren't necessarily going to put in, the Rock or something.
Yeah, fair enough. Any of those would work. I'd like I said, I'd totally buy that. And
Yeah,
I'll admit, I did say when you said not cell shaded because I kind of miss cell shaded games nowadays because there's hardly any.
I just don't know if that. Yes, I think that. Well, I mean, I would totally mark out if it was like '80s cartoon looking, and it was just unapologetically cheesy. So they have the dude that's, like the spiritual Native American guy, and it's like that's racist. Who cares? You have the sailor, and he has the little hat and the parrot. Who cares? It's a stereotype. We're leaving it. That'd be awesome, but I don't think they would, and I don't think that would sell as much. So
if it's what I was thinking with a first-person cell shade and stuff, wouldn't that be like? Was it X13?
Oh yeah.
Or 13, whatever it was called. It was something like that.
Yeah, I remember that game. It was like the no, it wasn't the. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that game though.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. It was either X13 or 13. It was all.
I think it was just 13. Yeah, I think it was just 13. But yeah, I keep thinking it's related to Killer 7, but I don't. I can't remember.
Nice. My next one, my number 4. This is the one I was disappointed with the name.
Mm-hmm.
I called it Bayovania. A side-scrolling Castlevania game where you play as Bayonetta. And you have to do like the puzzles and shit, and you get all her attacks made by the Castlevania people who do the side-scrolling ones. I'd buy that.
Where can I pre-reserve that? I want to play that. I'd play the hell out of it. That'd be awesome. You get her different weapons, so you get like the whip and you get that katana and stuff.
Yeah, because I was like,
did anyone use those? Like, in all honesty, did you really use her other weapons in the first one? I remember like I would do it because they were kind of fun, but inevitably I went back to just her default, like kicking him, hitting him with hair and shit.
Oh yeah, I think I went back to the hair, like with the Jung, on the hair that acted like a whip. But
yeah,
I came up with that because when I was playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow, which played like God of War and stuff, and then I played the side scrolling, and I was like, wait, they actually did a great job of making it with those characters using their same attacks, but side scrolling, exploring and stuff. I was like, I want to see this with Bayonetta.
Alright, so mine. I tried to think of a clever title for this, but I couldn't think of one. Okay, so basically, it's just a Telltale game, but the God of War story. I think that would be really interesting. Because I would love to see that, and you make all the choices, and they do mature choices all the time, so if someone's like, you gotta have sex with someone or kill them off or something, they'd be fully cool with that, I bet. Because, like, in the last freaking, what was it? I watched part of a video in one of the Walking Dead, so they fucking let a little girl die, so, and she was like, why? Right before they fucking ate her, so, like...
Why are you watching that story-driven play on?
I was watching clips, and that was one of the clips. Anyway, so, like, I mean, I don't know if you can make her not die or whatever, but, like that would, like, if they could do that, I'm just saying that they probably would, wouldn't have any reservations for the God of War game. So, fucking just do it.
Fair enough. Well, they wouldn't show Kratos die, because that's not allowed.
No, yeah.
He's never done that before.
Yeah, I mean, his finger's dying, yet in Mortal Kombat you couldn't kill him. What the fuck?
You can't cut his arm off. That's weird. He
Yeah,
crawled back out of hell twice.
that would have been like if you played the South Park RPG and Kenny didn't die.
Dude, Kenny can kill himself in that game.
Yeah, he can. That's why it's just wonderful. And then the
You
rats
fuck up
take
the rat's ability. Didn't he come back too? Like, if you waited like a couple turns, wouldn't he self-revive or something? That was awesome.
He'd just come back and go, and you just go, oh, hello. Or something like that. It's not like he didn't die. It's like, that's just awesome.
Okay, so my number 4, I couldn't come up with a cool name for this because, they're similar, and I didn't want to use the one I thought of. I already used a word from it in another one. I liked it better there. But I want World of Warcraft using the Diablo engine.
Oh, I had one of those, but different. Like,
wouldn't it just be hilarious to name it World of Diablo, just to annoy all the people that keep calling the third one that to take the piss?
There you go.
Because they're like, no, you can't, no, because now we can't use it, no.
That's what they would call it, yeah, just to piss them off. But I think it'd be kind of cool if you could pick, from like the races and classes that they have in World of Warcraft, but you craft basically an offline, they're kind of similar games, just different perspective and stuff. And I think it'd be awesome to have, like a non-online version of World of Warcraft, and especially if I can do couch co-op and some online co-op, and Diablo does both of those perfectly. So just merge them, and I would sadly buy that.
Plus, that would fix my only complaint with Diablo 3 on PS3 and stuff. My only complaint with it was, and I understand, blah, 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 but when I pick Wizard, I want to be able to customize them like you can with like an MMO.
Yeah.
And World of Warcraft's famous for obviously being able to let you do that. It'd be silly if it made it so you couldn't. So I'd fix my only mistake. That and the name thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be kind of cool because then you could have the races as another level on top of it. So you have like your class skill trees, and then and maybe for passives throw in some based off your race or something. Or you could have it not matter, so it's just cosmetic and you can do what you want. But I think it'd be kind of cool. You could add a couple extra abilities based off your race.
Oh, I completely agree. That'd be awesome. Like, a human monk shouldn't play the same as an undead monk.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
And I think they'd probably have to forego some of find a way to have them team up, because at the same time, like, I don't really care personally. If like I have an orc, like wizard or something, I don't care if my wife makes like a human like paladin or something. I just want, like, I don't care if the races hate each other. I want to play my character and play it with my friends' characters. They're my friends. If they're fucking blue and regenerate, that's fine. That's cool. I'm not gonna hate.
That always amuses me. World of Warcraft actually, if you think about it, perpetuates racism. Because if you are two different races, you can't even communicate. Even if you're an undead and you're clearly speaking English to you, if you go to speak to a human, all they say is like, sorry, I don't speak undead ebonics.
Well, I like that. What it did was people actually early on figured out, because when you type something to the other faction, it'll just scramble the letters, but they figured out how it scrambled them, so they actually could communicate with each other, and then they changed that and like started banning people for trying to communicate with the other side. And I'm like, really? So someone is trying to cross the boundaries of like, hey, maybe we shouldn't fight, and Blizzard's just like, no, leave.
He doesn't look like you. Get him.
You will never come back here with your peaceful ways.
Yeah, it's
like, wow, calm the fuck down. I just want to tie. I don't want to have to kill. I'm not like gonna kill everyone from the other side. Jeez.
But my number 3. I picked this mainly because I loved the name, but in hindsight I also loved this. I call it Double God. It's Kratos in a Double Dragon style prequel where his wife gets kidnapped and he has to go through beating people up in a side scroll and beat them up.
That would be probably one of the greatest intros of a game ever. Just picture Ares walks up to his wife, punch, puts her on his shoulder, and just walks away.
That's Kratos exactly what I was thinking.
Ares! Round one. Start.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Only his house would have like a barn next to it with a chariot in because it's in the past instead of a car in the garage.
That'd be so amazing.
I want double god.
Who's player 2? Are they Demos or whatever his brother was in the PSP one?
Player 2 could either A, be his brother, or B, fuck it, it's a prequel, the gods don't hate him. Well, it can be Zeus. Just for irony. And then you get the choice to betray him at the end.
Oh, that would be even better, yeah, because of how the original worked where you had to fight each other.
Yeah, if you betray
Yes,
yeah.
you get Zeus.
Alright. My third one is a World of Warcraft one, like Richter already had. But mine was called The Warcraft of Hyrule. And pretty much it's like World of Warcraft, except you can pretty much, like, I like the way you can choose your race. So you can, like, choose your race in freaking, like, you can be, like, a Zora or a Goron or something, and all, like, there's, like, Link goes to freaking every place and solves all the little problems, but if you, like, choose a Goron, you have to, like, help out your, like, tribe, and that's, like, your starting point, and eventually, after you, like, help out your own faction, you'll go to, like, other places and help them or whatever, but, like, that'd be really cool, and you'll have, like, you know, all your racial powers and whatever, and it'd be, like, you're not, like, the hero, or, like, you kind of, I guess you kind of are the hero, but it's still, like, you're specifically, like, not, like, an outside source is coming in to, like, help everyone. You're like, no, I will represent the Goron people and spread, like, all my awesome Goronness everywhere, you know? And, like, that'd be, like, super cool if you had, like, an MMO-style Zelda game. And, yeah, you can, like, the Hyrule can be, like, the main hub where, like, all the business and, like, people just spam and wait for auctions or whatever the fuck, or...
Could I possibly make that a parody version of Zelda?
Sure.
You play as your character, and some of the missions, you actually team with Link, like you do on DCO, where you team with the heroes and stuff. You actually team with Link. You end up being the one when Link gets locked in a cage or something, you end up taking on the villain, you defeat him. At the end, Link emerges and stuff, and everyone's like, oh my god, Link saved the day all on his own. Link goes to talk, and he goes, and you hear him talk. They cut him off. If Link totally did it and raise him up and just walk off with him, and your character's just like, the fuck, dudes, I'm right here.
That would be kind of amazing. I also think it could work too, because like Gorons do lots of crafting and shit, and like the ocular stuff is invented by the Zoras, and you know, like it would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd like that.
Over to Rick.
All right, so mine, I'm gonna go with this one. Okay. Now, if anyone has played Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, that's an awesome game. Takes a mature rated game, you know, like fighting game, moves it into beat 'em up territory. They keep fatalities and all that stuff. And I'm like, well, you know, I could do that with Street Fighter, but I wouldn't have the fatalities, and I don't know if it'd play as cool. So what could I do? So I was like, Killer Instinct. Hell yes. So I don't know where you're gonna get all the enemies from, probably Ultra Tech or whatever. But I was like, that game is pretty gory. There were finishing moves. You could just put Killer Instinct people in a Shaolin Monk style game, you know, which is like a 3D beat 'em up, and I would play that.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'm not sure who all that.
So that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mentioned the first. Well, I don't know how closely that emulate Shaolin Monks, where there's basically two characters, and then you could unlock two later that were not story. It was just, you know, like you could play as them, but they were definitely separate characters. They had different fatalities and moves and stuff. But I could see it could probably start with like maybe Jago and Orchid, but you'd have to have Fulgore in there. So like I could see that they would have maybe like 6 or 8 playable characters easy. And even if they gave them different story modes, almost like a Warriors game, where like maybe they're not like factions, but like, you know, these two team up to do this, and like the stories intertwine, but so like if you play all of the groups, there's like one big story that you see. But I don't know, that's probably getting a bit more complicated, but I think that would be really fun.
That would be pretty cool. Oh, it's me next.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, my number 2. Just because it was inevitable, one of us was going to do this with something. Dragon Warriors. I came up with this before they announced the multiplayer of Dragon Age, but afterwards I was like, it's different enough, I'm still going to keep it. The idea was because you were meant to be at war in Dragon Age 3, let you play as one of the soldiers and shit on like the front lines of the war. It's like a sort of a spin-off that happens at the same time, using the Dynasty Warriors engine, but you could be like a monk or a wizard, or not like let's say a monk, or not like a monk. What do you call it? You could be like a mage, a rogue, a fucking like the Warriors, and you could be all the classes from Dragon Age, but in a Dynasty Warriors game, just slaughtering through waves of enemies on the front lines.
There you go.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
I would inevitably play that.
And that's funny that you mentioned that one, because my next one is also from Dynasty Warriors. So we're kind of in sync. Okay, so
I will say, like I said, I knew other people would do some sort of the Warriors game. I will say I'm impressed Richter's list didn't have more Warriors. I was expecting like Kratos Warriors.
okay.
No, I intentionally limited it to like one.
Madden Warriors, when you're playing a football game and join a riot.
Okay, so I call this game Final Dynasty Fantasy Warriors. So pretty much like yeah, two. Or if it's Final Fantasy like 17, you know. So it doesn't even have to be like a.
Make it 10-2 just to take the Percy from Mugs. It's a long one.
Yeah, 10-2 and a half. Like.
Plus alpha.
So I was just imagining, like, you know, it'd be cooler if the combat, like, in freaking Final Fantasy would be, like, more, like, destroying everything, like, you know, fucking killing everybody, instead of this, like, really, like, slow loading bar thing, like, do this. No, I just want to fucking kill shit, you know? You know, I could just fucking go to town and kill everybody. I don't have to spend a fucking year slicing this dude's face up, waiting like 10 goddamn years just for him to die. No, I'm gonna go, you, done, boom. Like, if I could have those giant ass weapons too, oh, that'd be fucking amazing. Look, this weapon's the size of your hair. Like,
yeah.
That'd be so fucking amazing.
All right, so my next one, I'll just keep the trio going then. I was gonna save this one to last, but I'll do it now. Call it MVC Warriors. So it's basically Marvel vs. Capcom, but it uses the Dynasty Warriors engine. Specifically, I was going with whatever they used for the Warriors Orochi, because that allowed you to have 3 characters that you could switch between. So it'd be like Marvel vs. Capcom, where you get 3 characters. And I was like,
nice.
I'd hell play that. So you could get like real Dante in there and fucking Zero from Mega Man, and you could get like Ryu, and you could like Hagar and the Hulk and stuff, and you know it'd be like a crossover game in another. That's like Inception and shit, but like I don't think they could get the licensing for that. And I thought about just doing like a Capcom version, but I was like, no, it'd be awesome with Marvel versus. So you could get like Wolverine doing like super moves, cutting up tons of dudes, and like Doctor Strange like doing magic and crap. And
oh, what? MODOK gets no more love? You don't want MODOK in there anymore?
Can I just also say yours is so ironic?
Uh-huh.
Only because, I thought this would have made news, only because Capcom is currently suing the people who make the Warriors games. For like millions of dollars or whatever the fuck it was.
Why are they suing them?
They claim that they've infringed on some sort of patent. I don't know if they have or not. They say if it has, they are entitled to so many millions in damages and 10% of all games sold.
Wow. Capcom needs money hella bad.
Yeah, but apparently they say they've infringed on the patent, which I'll admit, if they have, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But still, I was like, I don't like that.
But why would they do it now instead of like, I don't know, fucking 10 years ago?
Yeah, my guess is during the 10 years or during however many years it's been since they started to do the pattern with certain stuff. Like, apparently the pattern included how they've done the importing the saved characters, the rumble to detect enemies, and a few other ones. The way they've done it is the same way Capcom has the patent. I'm not entirely sure. Oh. But yeah, it seems like they would probably go like, they're small enough, let's just let it go. And then now they need money, they're like, no, let's not let it go. But I would totally play that, just because, I'm sorry, there'd only be one character I'd play during that. Hulk. Because I'm sorry, Hulk destroying waves of enemies just makes so much sense.
That would be awesome.
Hulk with a canoe.
No, Hulk would play like, okay, in basically this is why I find it's funny that they're suing him. In the Capcom version of the Warriors games, one of them had a dude who, if you held the button, he would grab a soldier, and like if you attacked, he would just swing the soldier at him. So I could picture Hulk would have that mechanic where he could just grab a troop and just carry him with him, and he would attack with the guy, and he could like throw him, just be like, "No, I'm done with this one."
Nice. Would Spider-Man for his mount? Would he get the spider buggy?
Yes.
Yes, why not?
Yes, why not?
That would be awesome.
Hulk riding a bear with a canoe on his arm. Shut up and take the money.
I want someone to draw that picture. That'd be so great. We need to make that like a meme picture. Just draw that picture and it just says "shut up and take my money" and see if we can get that started.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. But my number one, and this actually spawned from a conversation I had, just to give props where props is due, with Marcus Shadow. When we were talking, and ironically we didn't record it, but we were talking about what we wanted in the career mode, and then I came to a realization what we wanted. And after I said it and I described it, he was like, "Yeah, that is what we want." My number one, wrestle effect. The matches would be done 2K style, but with BioWare's RPG elements, like how you pick like choices and stuff. And like if you're in like a stable like the NWO, your party can walk around with you in the locker room. You could do side quests, like let's say, oh, you can't face Undertaker at WrestleMania because his urn's missing. You have to go on a quest to find his urn with some extra little matches or fights backstage and stuff, and it's all like side quests which are optional. You can have party missions, like let's say you're NWO and Hulk Hogan's on your team. You can be like, okay, Hulk Hogan once lost to The Rock. He doesn't like that. The Rock is now guest hosting Raw. Do you want to do the mission? And you're like, yeah, and you just go through and beat him up like, at the announce table and just call it wrestle effect. Sure, and you obviously make your own CAW, so it's all your story and stuff like that, and all the choices. I'd so buy the shit out of that game. Wrestle effect. BioWare game, but with like, and obviously the matches would play 2K style, like I said, but it's all about the choices and everything else.
Yeah.
It'd just be perfect wrestle effect.
That would be very interesting.
I would definitely try that.
Do you like the idea of if you've got a stable or something, you could pick members of them to follow you around, like in the back, like behind you and stuff as you walk around?
That would be pretty cool. And I also like the idea of fetch quests in there. It's like John Cena's like, "Man, I need 3 bottles of water. I'm so thirsty." And you just run around and try to find bottles of water.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say.
Searching trash cans for loot and stuff. You got Ryback's old shirt.
Yeah.
Defense +2.
I would also like some matches to have like a start, or you know what I mean, to have like a choice at the beginning and so maybe at the end. Like let's say you're not, and just because I know I'm only using him because he's on the cover of 2K and stuff, or has a special edition. Let's say you're against Hulk Hogan. He makes you an offer before the match. During the match, before it starts, you get a choice. You press a button, boom, finger poke of doom, the evil choice. And so, and you've now joined him, or you can pick the good choice and have a full match, and you can have some stuff like that. It would just be amazing.
That'd be cool. Alright, so my number one would be Lego and Nintendo World. So pretty much it would just be the Lego engine, just with all the bricks and everything, but Nintendo characters, and you could just pop around and pretty much go to any maybe 5 or something different Nintendo worlds, and you could I don't know, do some kind of storyline, solve the problems, do quests, mini games, whatever. But just as little Lego people, like little Lego Link, little Lego Mario.
I'd like that.
They're all both PC, really, so I feel like they could possibly do, not that they ever would, but it could actually work.
They're both PC. I consider them more console.
I just want to see little chibi Link, and a sword, and Mario's fireballs or little blocks, and he just throws blocks at people that are orange.
I want to see Link destroy a blue car and like a white plane and shit right nearby, and then go just like the build and build the Master Sword out of
That would be
pieces.
amazing.
It'd just be like, wait, why didn't you do that with anything else?
That'd be this one.
Yeah. And of course, there'd be like, I'd imagine spots there, like the Lego Batman 1, where you got the different suits. Where if you're Mario, you step in them, you can get like the Tanuki suit to go higher.
There you go.
I'd buy it. So over to Ricky.
All right, so my last game I've called Transformers Icon Chronicles. So it's Transformers game, and it uses either I can't decide which of these two to use, either the Two Worlds 2 engine or the Skyrim engine. So it's basically you have a large section of Cybertron. I just picked Icon because I like that name, even though I think that, I was like, I don't know if they have like, because I know that's a city, and I'd want it a little bit bigger than that, but I was like, fuck it, I like that name.
Sorry,
But
I was just giggling because of what we discussed earlier. I was totally imagining like Optimus Prime's beat Megatron. Megatron's been stripped for parts down to like underwear.
Yes.
And then just place them next to him like done.
Then you can pick them up and you ragdoll them.
Yeah.
You put them over Starscream. No, you put Starscream on top of them.
Oh my god,
Like,
the head
put a
of
crown on
Unicron.
Starscream. Now who's king?
Yeah. And like I said, the head of Unicron just appears when it's in blue. It just bounces.
Boom, boom. But I was thinking Skyrim because it's more well known and people will be like, oh yeah, but I would probably want the Two Worlds 2 engine, even though people don't like those games, just because it's third person, so you could see yourself and I think it'd be kind of cool that you could transform. And so like you wouldn't, you don't necessarily need to fast travel. You could just turn into a plane and fly there.
Mm-hmm.
But also the amount of customization you can do in Two Worlds 2 is pretty cool with just like all the magic and stuff. I know they wouldn't really have magic, but I could see that they put similar effects on like weapons. So like you have, let's say a gun, it's like, okay, you pick the barrel, that determines distance, and then like the chamber affects damage, and like the bullet type affects elemental. Like I could see having lots of custom elements to make your own weapons to, give them different effects, and like also, being able to color yourself and like you don't play as like an actual, well, I guess you could, but I think it'd be cool if you don't necessarily play as an actual Transformer, but more you make your own. So like you can pick, like what kind of like the system in Fall of Cybertron? No, War for Cybertron. That's the second one, right? Where like you could make your multiplayer character and like you could pick the different. You could pick like different shoulders and head and stuff, and it would somewhat affect the transformation. But I was like, yeah, make your own Transformer in like an open world action RPG. I think I've already pre-ordered it. It doesn't exist yet, but I've signed up to buy it already.
That'd be awesome. And I will admit, I was tempted to be a dick when you said that and say,
Uh-huh.
well, you can have third-person view in Skyrim by pressing a button. But then
That's true. You can.
But then I was like, no, because that's really sucky reading third-person view. That's like no, that's not third-person at all. It's just shit.
That's true, because my wife, she likes playing those games, but she doesn't like playing in first person because she gets like the motion sick or whatever. So like I'm like, well, there's third person, and she just looks at me because that's how bad it is. A person that can't play the game for more than like a couple hours without feeling nauseous won't even go into the mode to play it longer because it just doesn't work.
Yeah, personally, I prefer third person as well. That's why Battlefront, I always play third person. I don't go first. However, with that game, I'm like, what the fuck? Because they walk like sideways like a crowd, and the way it works is like, what the fuck?
The animations are so funny when you do that. You like swing your sword, and he's like, You're like, that doesn't look right.
I'm really hoping it's similar for the Elder Scrolls Online because when that comes out on PS4, I'm tempted to get that. And I'm sorry, I may live stream the entire thing in third-person view.
Yes. Oh man, I feel terrible. I totally forgot that game was coming to consoles because they like, pushed it back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, that is coming on consoles, and that's where I wanted to play it. Damn it, how did I forget? They stopped mentioning it. They're like hoping no one will remember.
They say that happens in the winter years.
That's true.
No, I just made him feel worse. But no, it's a
Well,
case.
I almost bought the PC one just because they had that deal. I don't think it's still going on. Where if you played the PC one, you could get the console version for like $10, and they'd give you a free month. And my friend's like, you should totally buy it because you could play it for a month, and then for $10 more, you get another month and the Xbox One version. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm tempted to get that. Hopefully, if you are waiting for the console, hopefully you get that on PS4. Because I totally plan to get that, and I'd love to play you. But yeah,
That'd be awesome.
it's a case of that's coming out on consoles, and so's the other one I'm really looking forward to of EverQuest Next. Because that game just looks awesome. But yeah, they haven't really shown much to do with the console version of Morrowind. Well, not Morrowind, the Elder Scrolls. Sorry, I keep thinking the series is called Morrowind because that was the first one I played.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Elder Scrolls Online. I'm like, okay, cool. And I go on the official site. It just says it's coming under the when's the release date? Soon. How soon? Yeah. Very soon. How soon? Soon. And it's like no.
Yeah, wasn't it originally May or something?
Yeah, originally it was supposed to launch on both, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
But I totally do plan to play that. And I may actually subscribe to it, I'll be honest. If it's good enough, I'd subscribe.
Yeah.
That sounds
well,
cool.
that is... so that was... did anyone have any other ones? Or I know that was 5 each, but I didn't know if anyone had an extra.
We don't.
I had an extra one.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. If you wanted to, cause the one you told me to throw out. But I always thought if they made like an Assassin's Creed game, except use the BioWare engine with all the choices and stuff, and I could have an intimate party that I made myself full of assassins rather than random people that I saved, and that'd be cool. And I could choose how the Assassin's Guild progresses now that everything's all fucked up.
Yeah, nice. Would you get to choose whether or not Desmond lives or dies? Because I know which choice I'm going to go with.
Can you choose whether or not you believe in the aliens at the end of Brotherhood?
Yeah, I know. I believe that's mystical. I believe Desmond never killed his girlfriend, and I also believe Desmond never died. That's the choices I've made.
Can I play your Assassin's Creed game?
Yeah.
But all right, so those were our games with another engine that we would like to see. Before we go, I would like to remind all of our listeners, the September which is next month, the next podcast we will start this. We will have going through our list of best and worst of all time up to this point of various different
genres,
subjects, shall we say? Yeah, genres, and basically like awards almost, or just ones we think are this is the best single player game I've played. So look forward to that. Do you have anything else to add about that, or no?
No, I'd say like you said, it's our favorite, not necessarily what's best, and it's next week. That's right, people. Believe the hype that we've been doing. It's next week.
And unlike other Xpound stuff.
And Stacey will be there too. But yeah, it's me and Rick to picking our favorites.
And unlike other Xpound stuff, it'll be there when we say it. Yes, I went there. But
you shouldn't have gone there.
No.
Because now you get called into work on one of those days. You've jinxed us, Rick. You've ruined it.
Well,
it was Earth and you blew it up. Apparently I'm not allowed to just work that to any argument. I will say I've done that in real life. I will say I've done that in real life. I've been arguing with someone and I said, yeah, well, it's Earth and you blew it up. And they're like, that doesn't work for an argument. Doesn't it?
I had a planet once. It didn't work out.
Yes.
But anyway, so please look forward to that and tune in next week and you can hear the first bit of our lists. And I'd like to thank everyone that joined us today. Chriz, a.k.a. The Mole.
My pleasure, darling.
And Anastasia Lazerbeam.
Hey.
And Sleeping Jim. He fell asleep at work.
Oh.
Yes.
The Jim effect.
Dynasty Warriors with the Jim engine. Anyway,
imagine a BioWare option with Jim. And every option is just ... because he's not paying attention to the question.
And it doesn't. And like for the displayed text on screen, it's just jumbled letters, and like all the voices are like like the parent, like the adults in Charlie Brown. So like you literally can't even pay attention if you want to. You
Yeah,
don't know what
and
to
it's like
say.
it's like dot 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 dot, and the bottom one, which is the evil choice, says, "Yeah, what? I'm here. I'm paying attention. I'm listening. I'm here."
The middle one should be like, "Oh, sorry, I had it muted."
Yes.
Because granted, we've all done that at some point, but I swear he does that maybe like a little bit more than normal. I don't know. Like he probably is doing it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it's just funny when it's like, "Oh, great, he's jimmying us again." Oh no, sorry, I had it muted. Did you? Or give that like Fry squint-eyed look, like not sure if lying or.
Yeah, that's your laugh. That's your jimming or mute.
Oh man,
I want
good
that
thing I live nowhere near him. He'd be so mad. He would come over and stare at me. I don't know.
Yeah, make that picture, Rick. Make that picture.
Of the Fry with the not sure if jimming or muted.
Yes.
Okay. But anyway, thanks you everyone for joining us, and see you next week.